Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Excalibur by Boorman. I have to admit, although I have heard of Boorman before, I don't believe I've seen any of his films yet. About Excalibur, I knew this film existed and I know it has something to do with King Arthur, as his sword was called Excalibur. I don't know too much of King Arthur's story except his sword and the Knights of the Round Table. I don't know whether this film is a direct adaptation of the story or it takes a more fantasy route. I also don't know any of the actors starring in the film, although I have been told I might recognize a few here and there. I know this is a short intro, but I don't know much about this film at all, and I'm going in pretty much blind, only expecting an epic medieval movie. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions to over 70 movies, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. Links in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Excalibur, Boorman, let's go. Sword of Power. Excalibur. There's Merlin. That means this is probably taking a fantasy route. Okay, interesting. And the music already sounds epic. I already like the cinematography and the color grading. Uther seems like a champion of sorts.
You promised me the sword, and you shall have it.
Talking about Excalibur.
I need a sword to be king.
He's the prince then. He needs the sword to become the king. The sword rises from the water.
One land, one king. That is my peace, Cornwall.
Oh, that's the enemy.
If I yield to the sword of power, what will you yield? Me yield?
He has given. Now you must.
Make a trade, a fair trade.
The land from here to the sea shall be yours. King Uther, let us feast together.
And now he's king.
My wife will dance for us. You may be King Uther, but no queen of yours could ever match her. I must have her. Are you mad? The alliance!
He's going to mess it up with his lust.
You'll never batter this down! One night with her. You don't understand, you're not a man. Use the magic.
I don't know what to feel about Arthur, the king.
What issues from your lust shall be mine. Swear it again.
Oh.
I swear it!
Giving up any child that's born of this lust to Merlin. Interesting.
It's over.
Not quite. When night falls, we'll follow them and finish them.
Anal natrach urthvas bethad noch diende. Can't you see all around you the dragon's breath?
I'm guessing that's a miniature set.
The Duke is off to pursue your men.
And now it's his opportunity to... Very unique visuals.
Uther! Uther!
He's not here, he's banging your wife, man.
My father is dead.
Cornwall just died?
My father is dead.
That was awesome. I think the daughter knows the truth. And he's dead.
It can't be.
She doesn't believe it.
He came to me.
What a weird situation.
Out!
She has a child now.
Is it mine?
A man came to me. I loved me.
And I just realized Merlin has a claim to this child.
What I did for you wasn't easy. Now you must pay me. The child is mine.
Rightfully so.
It was you. You are the father!
Give me the child.
No!
Take him!
That's it.
I don't know what to think of this whole situation yet.
Are you the mother and father of the baby now, Merlin?
Nobody shall wield Excalibur but me!
That's how the sword gets stuck in the stone. It's by his father. I didn't know that.
Arthur, you're the one.
The prophecy has been made. And with the sounds of thunder, even though the clouds aren't there, so that's very intentional. I love how the sword is lit, but there is no source of light. It's probably behind the camera. I don't know whether the costume designs were accurate for the time, but they do look convincing. Holy crap. And he can't lift it.
Where's Kay's sword?
Arthur is not wearing armor, so he's probably not a trained knight yet. Holy crap! This happened so early in the film.
Your sword was stolen, Kay.
You freed it, Arthur?
I did, Father.
You must put it back.
I don't believe I've seen this actor before, the actor playing Arthur. They have no choice but to kneel.
I was your son before I became your king.
Merlin the magician brought you to me when you were newly born and bade me raise you as my own.
And Merlin's in the background.
And who is Merlin?
You are the son of Uther.
If a boy has been chosen, a boy shall be king! Are you with us or against us?
They're getting divided. Merlin is just walking away again.
You will be the land, and the land will be you. If you fail, the land will perish.
Ha! Excalibur! It fought the dragon too.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of man was my father?
Oh, he was brave.
Merlin, will you help me to be wise? Not to be rash? Merlin!
Well, what do you think has happened since you ran off?
Most of the great knights were against me, except Leon de Grants of Cameliard.
There they are.
Follow me!
Where to? Where are we going?
Leon de Grants!
I like that. I wonder whether it was written for this film or not, but I've definitely heard it in other films. This is a famous bit of music, which has been used many different places.
Now, round the other side, Uriens is attacking!
Uriens, I wonder who that is. This is actually a real location.
What's this?
In the name of God, St. Michael and St. George,
He's compelled to do so.
rise, King Arthur. I doubt you no more.
You'll have to stay still and rest.
A king must marry after all.
So it seems.
It's only been a week. Take your time, Arthur.
I love her. If only she'd be my queen. Can you make her love me?
Now look, I once stood exposed to the dragon's breath so that a man could lie one night with a woman. It took me 9 moons. Never again.
I'll go myself. Who is this knight? Shh! Move aside!
I really like the framing of the shot here.
I await the king himself. His knights are in need of training.
I am king!
I am Lancelot of the Lake.
Lancelot. Good for Lancelot. He's going for the fair fight. And I think that's how he'll win the respect of King Arthur.
Excalibur, I call on your power. My pride broke it. My rage broke it. I've lost for all time. The ancient sword of my fathers.
It's that water lady.
Thanks be to God, you're alive.
And Lancelot's alive.
For my search is over. My king.
Wow.
Make me your champion.
But your life and lands are far from here.
I gave up my castle and my lands.
Arthur is growing into his role very well, and I love this shot with the stars in the background and fire.
The wars are over! One land, one king, peace! I will build a round table where this fellowship shall meet.
Oh. He just created the Knights of the Round Table.
Here is Arthur's greatest knight, come to escort you to the king.
I would love you as my queen and as the wife of my best friend.
Arthur to Guinevere.
Helen Mirren! And she plays Morgana grown up.
When my brother Arthur was born, you came and took him away.
And now you leave his wedding.
Because I'm a creature like you, I can ease your loneliness. Let me help you. Teach me.
Oi! Take me with you! I want to be a knight!
Jump up.
I'll run! Listen, boy. It's more than 20 days from here. The world's not that big.
He won't stay because he's still in love with Guinevere.
No, I can't.
Oh, sorry, old fella.
Merlin is becoming more comical as the film runs along. Wow! That's a beautifully made round table.
Watch Guinevere. Remember what I told you about them.
Tell me, Merlin, have we defeated evil? As it seems we have.
Good and evil. There never is one without the other.
Ooh, that's good visual storytelling.
I know where.
Dude, that's Liam Neeson. I know the voice too well.
And now to be driven from us by a woman's desire!
In the idleness that comes with peace, I see that gossip has bred its own evil. I protest my innocence!
Were I not king, I would make you pay with your life for what you've said. You are the two people I love best in the whole world.
Then why can't you defend
The
me?
law!
Lord, we are innocent, but not in our hearts.
What am I watching? Another shape-shifting person? It was a dream. Oh, man!
I fight against myself. Since no knight comes forward, I demand justice.
Is there not one of you?
And St. George, I make you a knight.
He's here.
It is my task, Percival, to prove the Queen's innocence.
Blood.
The Queen is innocent!
Look what they've done.
Save him, Merlin.
He has no will to live.
I must take my rest in the forest.
Oh no. Just after the queen has been declared innocent, she's...
What must I do now? Kill them?
Yeah, Morgana is definitely a witch or a wizard of sorts.
Merlin, take me with you.
Here my power was born.
Tell me the sacred charm of making.
I like the music here.
I destroy you, I consign you to...
How? I don't understand this.
Speak the charm of making.
He's actually doing it, and she's learning. And Merlin just disappears.
You thought you would trap me? You are trapped yourself by the same sorcery you used to deceive my mother.
He didn't vanish, he's stuck. Oh, he didn't kill them.
The king without a soul. The lamb without a king!
Well, at least she looks like she regrets her actions.
Love me,
She learned the love spell.
my king. My brother.
Ugh, dude!
I could kill you now, brother. But I want you to live to see our son be king.
Ugh. And 9 months have passed already. Beautiful cinematography and lighting here. Holy crap.
God save us from Morgana.
Another fadeaway transition showing the passage of time.
Only the Grail can restore leaf and flower.
I think they're talking about the Holy Grail.
Only the Grail can redeem us.
We will find this Grail or die.
And all this while, I have to assume Arthur and Morgana's son is growing up.
They were looking for it too, but they weren't good enough.
There she is. This has to be the son then.
He's no good, Mother. Take him to the tree.
Damn. He has a chance to survive. It's the Grail. He's seeing it in some sort of vision.
What is the secret of the Grail?
Arthur.
When am I going to be king, Mother?
When the time comes.
Any message for your dear brother, my father?
You are my message.
Arthur is becoming old and weak and weary.
I have come to claim what is mine, father.
I cannot give you the land.
There are so many different names and factions. I don't think I can remember all of them in a single viewing.
You are the last of us. Try again.
Because of this! Lancelot! Be Percival! Lancelot!
Oh, that's Lancelot!
Percival, help us! Come back to us! Lancelot!
What is the secret of the Grail? Who does it serve?
You, my lord.
This time he's worthy and he's going to go for it. He's going to get it. That was a good payoff.
Drink from the chalice and you will be reborn in the land with you.
Arthur!
Ready my knights for battle. They will ride with their king once more.
And the music kicks in. And the music's building up. The music itself elevates the scene 10 times. It's just so epic.
Accept my forgiveness. I've always loved you and I still love you.
I loved you as king, sometimes as husband.
What a beautiful, beautiful location.
Where are you, Merlin?
You brought me back. Your love brought me back. Are you just a dream, Merlin? A dream to some.
A nightmare to others!
Oh, okay.
Have you used up all the magic you stole from me to keep yourself so young? Have you forgotten the charm of making? Use it.
And I think that's the dragon's breath, which Merlin summoned in the first act of the film.
My dear sweet boy.
Her body's aged. And she's dead. The main antagonist of the film so far, Morgana, is dead.
Speed of horse!
And the fog, the dragon's breath, is to Arthur's advantage. This battle is very hard to follow.
Lancelot! Is it you? Lancelot!
Is it true?
It is!
Lancelot's back.
Arthur, forgive.
Lancelot,
My salvation is to die a knight of the Round Table.
you are that. You are its greatest knight. You are what is best in men.
Is she queen again?
She is.
Oh man, he can finally rest. There he is. That was anticlimactic and surprising.
Take Excalibur.
He knows he's dying, and he must return the sword to the Lady of the Water.
My king, I couldn't do it. Excalibur cannot be lost.
One day, a king will come, and the sword will rise again.
Love the music in this scene. And the cinematography.
Arthur!
I enjoyed that film, guys. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was an epic film. I generally enjoyed it too. John Boorman was very good in his direction, and most of the performances were pretty good too. I would consider the strengths of the film to be its cinematography, music, atmosphere, costumes, and the sets and props. Whereas I'd consider the length of the film, some of the battle sequences, the disjointed storytelling, and the humor that I don't know was intentional or not, but it really did break the flow of the story for me, to be weaknesses. Let's get started with the directing by John Boorman and the writing by him and Rospo Pallenberg. From the credits, it seems like it was an adaptation of a book, but since I'm not familiar with the source material, I can't comment on it too much. The writers and the director start the story very early with Arthur's father, Uther, claiming Excalibur and ruling the lands for a while, but he messes up by sleeping with his enemy's wife, who bears a child, Arthur. I think the enemy was the Duke of Cornwall, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Merlin takes him as was promised, and Arthur is raised in relative obscurity till he takes out Excalibur from the rock, the place where Uther places it before he dies. Arthur's story continues as he becomes king and also falls into a love triangle with his wife and one of his knights, Lancelot. When he finds them having an affair, he gives up Excalibur and becomes a weak man, literally. All this while, Morgana, his half-sister, who becomes a necromancer or witch of some sort, like Merlin, seduces Arthur and bears a son who she feels deserves the throne. Ugh. Arthur sends the knights of his round table to find the Holy Grail and restore balance in his kingdom. The youngest of the knights, Percival, completes the quest while the rest of the knights fail and brings the Grail to his king, who rises from its power and marches against Morgana and his son, Mordred, if I'm pronouncing that right. At the heat of the battle, his estranged friend, Lancelot, returns to come help and defeat Morgana and Mordred, and with his dying breath swears loyalty and forgiveness, asks for forgiveness from the king, which he grants. At the end, Arthur kills Mordred with Excalibur, but also gets mortally wounded himself. With no Merlin to save him, he orders Percival to throw Excalibur back to the Lady of the Water, so when the next king does come along, the sword shall rise again, before he dies under mysterious circumstances and is taken to the sea by like 3 women dressed in white. I did not understand that, by the way. Anyway, the cinematography of the film was excellent. It was somewhere between epic fantasy and very intimate, especially in the long Shakespearean monologues. The overall camera work was pretty stellar considering the budget. But however, even though the lighting used was excellent, some of the scenes were pretty unclear due to the overuse of fog, which obscured the view of the audience. I don't know why so much fog was used, but I have to assume it had to be because of budgetary reasons, because the film itself, even though it was epic, it seemed like the budget was very limited. The editing of the film was okay, although the scenes were easy to follow. I did feel like this film was a little disjointed and too many extra scenes were kept. But I didn't have too much issue with it overall. The music in the film was a highlight for me. It was pretty epic and used mostly appropriately. At the beginning, traditional medieval music was used to convey the light-hearted moments, but that changes about halfway through the film to more serious, ominous music with drums and bass as the story picks up. I don't know the name of the theme song, but I have heard it before and it's a classic. I listen to it a couple of times a year to hype myself up. I'm unsure whether the music was written for this film, but it was very memorable, and I can confidently tell you that I really enjoyed this aspect of the film. The sets, props, and costumes in the film were great. Another highlight for me. The atmosphere created by John Boorman was excellent, and it was rather convincing. The costumes were well designed, and I'm a big fan of the beautifully made sets. Some of them were a little unconvincing by today's standards, but it had its intended overall effect. Great work here overall. Nigel Terry played King Arthur. I honestly have a mixed opinion on his acting here. I would consider his performance in the second half of the film as older Arthur to be much, much, much better than the first half we see him in. He played young Arthur pretty unconvincingly, almost like he was in a Shakespeare play with an over exaggerated swagger, with over exaggerated expressions. However, as older Arthur, he was pretty convincing. He played older Arthur with reserve and the wisdom of an older king. His performance did grow on me, and by the end, I think playing him like that early on was an intentional choice by either him or the director. Helen Mirren played Morgana, Arthur's half-sister and the primary antagonist of the film. I've never seen Helen Mirren this young, and I have to admit, she was and still is gorgeous. Her performance was of a seasoned actor, totally encapsulating the role, and she was just great to watch. Her character was pretty menacing, and the only thing I did not understand about her is why her son kills her without even speaking a word or understanding how his mother became so old so suddenly. If there is some explanation of that, I'd be glad to hear it. Nicole Williamson played Merlin. I enjoyed his performance overall, but there's one thing I have issue with, which was his physical humor. He was supposed to be the greatest wizard alive, but we see gags of him slipping and falling into a river, or him getting knocked on the head. I found these scenes funny, don't get me wrong, but I felt like they were a little out of place. I kept wondering whether the humor was intentional or not, because the rest of the film was very serious. Regardless, his acting skills, they were there, and his monologues were pretty fantastic to watch. I just wish we got to see the actual dragon he was referring to, and just not settle for its breath, which was represented by the fog. About criticisms, I think I've talked about them plenty, except one thing, which was the length of the film. At 2 hours 20 minutes, I think it might have dragged a little longer than needed. I think cutting out about 15 or 20 minutes from the first act would really tighten the film up and its structure, make it easier to follow, I guess. But I might be wrong here. Overall, I had a very good time with the film. It was more than I expected. John Boorman does a good job with the directing, and most of the performances were great too. The cinematography, production values, and the music outshine the disjointed storytelling to make this film into a cult classic. One thing I have to ask you guys is whether this is the definitive King Arthur film. Is there one better than this? Because I'd love to see a different perspective of this epic, legendary king. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. The link's in the description below, by the way. Subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.